What's up, fam? This is Dr. Jali welcoming you to episode 5 of Thriving Throughout. There are so many things to unpack when we talk about religion and trauma. Quick disclaimer, I'm saying religion, but I am coming from the perspective of a Christian in the church. Even if you're not a Christian, there's no judgment here, but I still think this video can help. Some of these concepts are universal to all faith communities. So let's get started. First up, definitions.
Church hurt or religious trauma is caused by a person's perceived mistreatment by their faith community. Faith is complete trust in someone or something, as well as belief in God and religious practices. Traditions are beliefs and customs that are passed down from generation to generation, and customs are traditional and widely accepted ways of movement and behavior that is specific to a culture, community, or region.
I can tell you from experience, there are so many benefits to being a part of a faith community.
Studies have shown that people who are part of a faith community tend to outlive non-religious people by an average of 4 years. Prayer and meditation helps a person to calm themselves and reduces stress, and the support of like-minded individuals has positive effects on mental health.
In a time where it was difficult for a lot of Black people to find gainful employment, education, and financial and emotional support, the church was the place to be. A lot of people go to church because their family goes or because it's just the thing to do in their community. Church is just as much a social and emotional outlet as it is a spiritual one. So let's talk church hurt and religious trauma. Church hurt or religious trauma basically happens when a person feels that they have been mistreated or rejected by their faith community. Maybe you feel like your leader abused his or her power, there was too much pressure on you to act or dress a certain way, that it drove you away from the tenets of your faith.
It's not unheard of for people to be mistreated or abused by their faith community. These are some common causes of church hurt or religious trauma.
So here are some tendencies and behavior patterns that can lead to church hurt or religious trauma. Many people put total faith in their religious leaders and their community. They base their decisions on what other people are saying and not necessarily referring to the text and tenets of their faith. And here's where now your faith community becomes more of a burden to you than a support. It's okay to question your faith community. Know what's in the Bible, research to understand some of the customs and general traditions of the time that the Bible was written. There's so much knowledge and resources and access. It's our job to take full advantage of it. First off, let go of unrealistic expectations. People go to church expecting to find a group of perfect people. You will not find any religious organization that is full of perfect people. In fact, you will not find one perfect person in any religious organization. Faith communities usually attract people who feel broken in some way. So you will find many of the same behaviors and attitudes in the church that you find walking down the street. You have a lot of people operating in faith communities or identifying as a particular religion or belief system, and they don't necessarily believe what they say they believe or know really what they believe. For many people, church is less devotion and belief in God as it is tradition and custom. If you're there for the music, for the socialization, just to be around people who are going to love on you and treat you nice, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't fully believe in what you're going there for, it is going to be hard for you to feel fully a part of that community. So how do we heal? First off, go to therapy. I saw a quote earlier this week that said, just because you are Christian doesn't mean that you are healthy. Religion and therapy are not the same thing. This is a common misconception among Christians and people who are in faith communities that they believe their belief system and that God will eradicate all psychological and emotional trauma. Your faith leader's job is not actually to be your therapist or your counselor, but to be a spiritual guide. Do not expect your leader to be your therapist. Some religious leaders do have formal training and certification in therapy and counseling, but if yours doesn't, that's okay. Just know that you need to seek someone who does. Religion and therapy go together. Spirituality and practicality go together. God and science go together. One does not have to cancel out the other.
Stay tuned for next week because we are talking about steps to recovery. Follow and subscribe on Instagram and YouTube.